Alright, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another review by the OuterHaven.net. This time, instead of Sis Scott, you're joined by myself, Getsilius, and Shadowhaxer. How's it going, Shadowhaxer?
What's up, everybody? I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad to finally get to talk about this game I've been playing for a while.
Same, yeah.
Which is interesting because I'm not a big fighting game fan anymore.
That's true. And the game, keep a little ahead of us, is King of Fighters 15. King of Fighters 15 will have its global release, I believe, on February 17th, 2022. Is that correct?
Correct, but it's out right now if you buy the deluxe edition.
That is correct. So, the one thing is that Keith is not a, he was, I guess, not heavily into fighting games as he used to in the past, and myself, I play fighting games heavily to this era. I still play a lot of them, even to a point where I annoy Keith on a weekly basis to play Guilty Gear Strive.
Dark Souls and action RPGs have taken over the fighting game fix for me.
That's true. At least you haven't gone into the current fighting game aesthetic, is where people go to play, I believe, Final Fantasy 14 or another MMO, or now I guess Lost Ark or Yu-Gi-Oh. But anyway, enough FGC memes aside, let's talk about King of Fighters 15. And we're going to start with the first topic to talk about. We're going to talk about the graphics and aesthetics of it. King of Fighters 15 is very gorgeous. It's definitely a huge upgrade from the previous gen King of Fighters 14, where it just looks like basic 3D models. Graphically, it's very gorgeous. It's 2.5D kind of style. All the attacks are very colorful. The characters are well animated. There's nothing more I could say about how graphically it is. I think it's a slam dunk. Keith, what do you think about the graphics or the?
Yeah, so you played it on the PlayStation 4 and you said it looked great. I played it on the PlayStation 5 and the game looks amazing. I played it at 4K. I think pretty much echoing what you said. The models look amazing. The animation looks amazing. The sound is amazing. Everything about this game is amazing. Everything about this game. It's easily one of the best, one of the more polished fighters out there right now.
Right. And this is really cool in that front. Other thing too is that even the background animations for the stages are well lit. I believe one of the desert stages have the metal slug prisoners you can save is really cool. You can see even tons and tons of Easter eggs and references. You can see Bob Wilson or Richard Meyer and Pow Pow Cafe from the Fatal Fury series. So get lit. In the wrestling stage, I believe that even though he doesn't look like it, that's Big Bear in the background. So that's kind of cool.
The only thing that we're missing is the one stage, I forget the name, where Duck King would normally be at, and he's missing.
Oh, the club from Fatal Fury Special.
Yeah, he's like, where's Duck King? He's not there.
No, he's not there. He can maybe DLC in the future. But yeah, so out of 5, what would you give the graphics and aesthetics?
I would give it a 5.
Same.
Amazing.
I'm in a 5 as well. Bam, it's perfect. That's the way to go. And moving from graphics and aesthetics, we're going to talk about how the game sound, everything else. Let's talk about the audio and sound effects. Audioly, let's talk, be honest with you, this game has an amazing soundtrack from its new songs and songs you can unlock in the gallery mode for classic King of Fighters songs that you guys are itching for. I know that not everybody's a fan of sometimes the IRE theme songs, so you always go back to Arashi's Saxophone number 2, so you always get that fixed if you need it. But this game, musically and sound effects wise, is gorgeous. Even the announcer sounds animated when he this time for a special attack,
Yeah, I do like the fact that you can unlock the soundtracks of past King of Fighters games. That is really good for both newcomers and veterans who don't have access to those soundtracks anymore. I like the fact that they don't just give it to you, you have to unlock them. But everything is on point. The musical score is great, the sound effects are great. I don't really care too much for the announcer because he's not always right. A good example is that when I'm fighting and I beat the character 2 rounds to nothing, and I just let the other character beat me because I was recording videos, and then he goes, looks like the second player is heating up. And then when I win again, they go, looks like the first player finally just won a round. And I'm like,
yeah. He's trying to hype people up.
Consistent.
He's not consistent. He's trying to hype people up. I get that. Yeah, I can see that. But I guess if we had to, honestly, it's true. I can see that. But if I had to rate the audio and sound effects, I'll probably rate it a 5 as well. It's just solid across the board. There's something really banishly bad out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't punish the music or the sound effects or the musical or the the audio department just because the announcer is a knucklehead at times. It's fantastic. It literally is.
Yep, and we give it a 5. It's perfect. And now we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of the whole video. We're going to talk about the gameplay. Alright, so I'm somewhat of a veteran in the King of Fighters series. King of Fighters has been known, compared to some other fighting games, has a little bit on the execution heavy side due to doing Neo Max cancels and Max cancels and other things to it, linking everything. King of Fighters 15 does an amazing job of simplifying certain character moves or creating uniformity for certain people's climax supers. What I mean is that if you play older King of Fighter games, particularly one of my favorite characters, King, best girl, take that out, her tornado kick in previous games, it usually was half circle back. In this game, it's quarter circle back. That is a huge improvement to let players get better at hitting inputs. The older games, when you try to do her slide, which would be down forward hard kick, that was one of the hardest links in the game, linking slide kick into anything. Now you can do it with ease. They have much more huge buffer windows. I think that's good for new players and general veteran players. It's just better in general, making combos easier to do. And a bunch of characters besides King may have some simplified movesets or movesets that may I want to say represent them for prior titles. Terry Bogard, a staple of all of the King of Fighters series, his rising tackle is not a charge move, it's a shuriken motion.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He had this same moveset in a prior game, King of Fighters 98. In King of Fighters 98, his rising tackle was a dragon punch motion. So, or shuriken, which is forward, diagonal, forward, down, or was we, if you want to use number notations, I believe that would be 632. So yeah, or 623. Oh, sorry, 623. My notation is bad, but anyway, it's all good. So, it's this simplicity of making movesets easier to do can help people get into the groove of how the game works, and would also think, as I mentioned, the buffer window affects people doing certain combos. In King of Fighters, one of the mainstay is starting to go, how good is your crouching short or your crouching light attacks are. It's really hard to link crouching light attacks to combos or starters in prior King of Fighter games, but I feel in this game it's a lot easier and a lot crisper. Have you noticed that, Shadow Haxer?
I have not, but again, I'm not a big King of Fighters veteran. I mean, I played the games originally when they first came out, 94, 95, 96, skipped the other ones, started playing them again with 13, not so much 14, but I wanted to backtrack real quick. You make a big point, or a valid point, where some of the moves haven't changed, because I picked up certain characters, and I was like, wait, the moveset is it's different. Why are the moves different? And I think that may cause some confusion with people who are veterans of the game, like yourself, who are used to doing certain moves and then they change them. It's really weird for certain fighting games to change characters' moves because that is their identity. It's like I couldn't imagine playing Street Fighter and picking up Ken and like, wait, why did they change all of his moves again? They've been like that way forever.
True. There are some similarities in fighting games in doing so, but I feel like they, at least if you're like some King of Fighters veteran or this is your first game, these move changes aren't that difficult, at least that hardcorely. Like for example, Yashiro, in older games, his Maniac Punch driver, which he just wails at you, was half circle back punch. In this game, it's just quarter circle back punch, and you don't need to mash to do more hits. The only character who maintained their mash property would be Vanessa, who does half circle forward punch, and you have to mash the punches to get more hits, like 100 hand slap.
Yeah, I've noticed that before, which I kind of like using her, by the way.
Oh, nice, yeah. Hurricane up hot, yeah. Up hard like juke. Cool stuff. But I think that from a gameplay standpoint, this is probably a game I'll recommend to people who don't play a lot of fighting games, have the easy input, the same way I recommend to Strive to a lot of people, because it's an easy game to play. It's not that difficult to pick up. You can understand a lot of mechanics of it. As well as another gameplay aspect that they've done interestingly is that they have something called the Shatter Strike mechanic. Have you used the Shatter Strike mechanic, Shadow Haxer?
No, I have not.
Shatter Strike is done when you do quarter circle forward, I believe, both hard punch and hard kick. If you do, you can do that mid combo or as a cancel, and when you do it, it automatically crumples the opponent. But you cannot spam it infinitely. So if you do one Shatter Strike into another Shatter Strike, it knocks them away. But if you do a Shatter Strike, it heavily scales. So it makes your combo do less damage, but it's a good way to get that damage if you need it. So that's a pretty cool mechanic they add. As well as the max system. You can always activate the max system raw. But now with the quick max, they let you know you get less time. But it's pretty much if you know your hit confirms. Let's say you hit you're playing King and you hit your hard kicks and you did your slide, you hit the max, you get quick max, and then you just start doing your instant combo into your super and kill them. It's a really easy way to do so because it adds an auto run to it, which is nice. Similar to the prior King of Fighters games. This is hitting max combos, doing max attacks, maybe on the upper echelon or maybe higher for hard-flung players. But there are some characters in the game who don't really need it because they do so much damage or they have other ways of doing things.
Yeah, I really enjoyed using the max combo system. I took a little bit of time to get used to it, but once I realized I can actually do a combo into the max combo, which is actually interesting. I'm not sure if you're going to touch on the next point, so I'll just jump on it real quick. I am not a fan of the rush combo system.
Oh, the auto combo from light. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that, and only because I'm used to using light attacks to start off my combos, and if you mash it and then go to any other button, it automatically does a rush. So
yeah, because that's simple because in King of Fighters, there's not a lot of character target combos. I know where you're coming from. It's not like Gatling, like in Guilty Gear, or target combos like in some other games. So they automatically do it for you. So you cannot, unless it's a counter hit, you can do like, unless it's a target combo. I know Dolores has a target combo where she has to do in succession, like hard punch, hard kick. That's a target combo, but that's not special cancelable. But I know exactly, it can be frustrating because you're like, I'm hitting it, why is this happening?
Exactly. It's like, I'm trying to figure out, learn combos on my own. I don't want this. And it's terrible because if you have meter, or better yet, if you have 2 meter, which is even worse, it takes all your meter. It's not like,
right, okay, it ends with a super. That's how the auto combo works.
It's like, no, I don't want this. And there's no way to turn it off.
Well, the thing is, like, what you should know is like the auto combo has a particular different normals that you should know. You can stop yourself. The idea in King of Fighters is that whatever button you're hitting to start your combo, you should cancel it into either a normal move, like a forward, like for Terry Bogard. If you hit close heavy punch, you should be able to cancel the down forward heavy punch or forward light punch. There should be no reason of you just mashing the same button over and over. It's called precision linking in that capacity. So you should do that and then chain after you hit the, let's say, forward light punch after the end of close heavy punch with Terry. You do half circle forward kick, which is the power tab light tackle, and then you chain that light tackle into hitting either Shoryuken punch to do rising tackle, or Shoryuken kick to do power dunk, or you just super cancel.
The problem with that is you're coming from someone who's versed in playing those games and are familiar.
Oh no, exactly. I'm explaining how the combo system of the game works. So it's
exactly.
Yeah.
But if for newcomers who don't know that or aren't versed with that, it kind of adds some frustration. Like I said, my background is primarily Capcom fighting games and Killer Instinct and those games where that kind of rush combo system isn't in place. You have the dial combos, but it won't automatically activate a special when you're done.
True, but also King of Fighters does offer this in the which I recommend everyone who's buying the game pick it up. Please play the tutorial mission mode, particularly tutorials to learn the basic mechanics of the game, because it is explained there.
Can we talk about that? I mean, I know you want to talk about gameplay, but can we just take a moment?
It is gameplay. Tutorial is part of the
overall
gameplay.
Presentation of this game.
Yeah.
This game is not a piecemeal game. This game has everything in it day one. Tutorial mode, training mode online. There's an online training mode.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And here's how good the training mode is. Before we change, the training mode is so good in this game is that if you can actually set your training mode to whatever, record or whatever, but here's the best part. For people who don't know what frame data is, you can set your opponent to block or take a hit, and you can learn which normals are plus on hit and plus on block. So you have, and by the way, they don't give you some number like +3, +4. You just look on your screen. If it's blue, it's plus. If it's red, it's negative. If it's green, it's equal. It's 0. Meaning you can have an idea, learn which buttons are good in pressure and which buttons are good on hit for mix-ups.
Yeah, it's amazing. This game puts a lot of fighting games to shame with everything that it has.
Oh, 100%.
The online room is better than most games I played so
It has
far.
roll. It
I'm
has
not gonna
yeah.
name any
It runs
game.
on rollback netcode, which is the standard, the gold
Yeah,
standard.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm not going to harass any other games out there, but this game puts a lot of the games to shame, and just the sheer amount of options that are in this game, and
True.
not just the options, the rewards. You get to go back and look at the movies you unlock, the soundtrack that we already talked about, the gallery.
There's even secret endings if you pick certain team members, I believe.
Yeah, you get back to it's so good.
Yeah, it's a solid game. Gameplay. Now, there's two ways to rate the gameplay. If you're looking at it because King of Fighters is lore from a lore context, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. We do get some characters who never been in the game for a while, like Elizabeth, Ash, Team Orochi. Jeremy, Yoshiro, and Chris. They're back at it again. Those horrible kids. That's cool. Now, the gameplay aspect, playing with other people. I played some matches online. Some good netcode. It's really solid. So that part's in there too. So if I had to give the gameplay for it, even though this may not be everyone's cup of tea, I have to give it a solid 5 because I think people, even if they don't know how to play a King of Fighters game, there's enough tools to understand how to play this game, and it's not as difficult as compared to like learning King of Fighters 98 or 2002 or even 13. Oh, by the way, for those people who only played King of Fighters 13, did not play 14, 14 had some issues. In King of Fighters 15, you can do your EX attacks anytime you want. You don't have to activate the max bar to do it, which is so good. Like Third Strike, the kids.
If you're, I was gonna say, if you're used to playing the Street Fighter games, EXs are easy to do.
Yeah.
Just 2 punches or 2 kicks, you're good to go.
Exactly. Just activate your input motion. That's about it. And as for gameplay, one thing I cannot judge for balance to be top tier or bottom tier, but all the characters do feel relatively interesting and strong. Myself, who is a Maxima main, I love Maxima, big Silverbot Ryborg dude. He's actually kind of fun to play. He actually feels like a big bully carry he's supposed to be. His armor buttons beat projectiles. His new tackle attack can be kind of safe. He's kind of fun. I think a lot of the characters have all their uniqueness shine through in this game, rather than being like tone deaf,
I want to say that I felt that this game was easily one of the more balanced fighting games I played in quite some time. The characters, if you don't change any of the options, feel like they all do around the same amount of damage. The grapplers may do a little more, but they're not overpowering. Like if you played Guilty Gear Strive and you got grappled by, I'm not going to name who it is.
Pin Simpkin.
And he takes like nearly all your health. Clark, Ralph, Dinosaur, Maxima, they do not destroy your health bar.
Well, to be fair, they have different tools they can combo into their command throw. Rolf is not a grappler. He used to be, though. That's how I know you're an old one. Rolf used to have a command throw. He doesn't have it anymore. He has Rolf Keek now.
But Clark has some really nice moves. I really like him. Also, what the hell was I using recently?
Ramon?
I've just been trying to find my third character. I thought I found him, but I did not. Shermie. Been playing with Shermie as well. I'm not really sure about her. She needs to be in close to do some really good damage. I don't know.
She's about that mix.
I really do like the game. I will say that even though I do have an issue with the rush combo, that's more of a learning thing on my end. But I think the gameplay is solid.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward giving it.
This is probably a 5 as well.
Yeah, this is a 5 as well. I mean, King of Fighters might be the perfect fighting game for you and your friends at this point. Yeah. But the final topic is the final score of the game. So if I put it all together, I'm leaning towards King of Fighters between a 4 or a 5, but I feel like it's a 5 because it's a fighting game I could recommend for people who want to enjoy it. It has a lot of things that even if you're not into playing against competitive people online, you can unlock music tracks, which is fine. You can enjoy the lore. You can essentially, even if you pick it up just to beat the training mode and unlock the music, it's enough content there for you. And there's enough characters who are diverse in many styles of fighting. You just mentioned all the 3 out of 4 grapplers. I mentioned, if you like combo grapplers, have you tried Ramon?
I can't get behind Ramon. I did try him. I didn't like his style.
He's very based on his movement and hitting the rekkas. Sobato! Yeah. And the character interactions are really funny in this game, as you may check on our YouTube channel. We have uploaded a lot of them.
I don't think we're done. There's so many out there. I'm still trying to find them all, but there's a lot. I think the interaction between the characters is great. And it's also a nice treat for those who've played the past game because there's a lot of history with these characters.
Exactly. Also, if you're looking for another grappler, have you considered Hydern? Hydern's technically a grappler.
I like him. He's a grappler and he has a nice zoning game as well. I was thinking about him.
Yeah, he might be my third character. So far, I have King, I have Maxima. I can kind of play Ramon. I can kind of play Yashiro. I might go with Hydern because his game plan is straightforward. I'm not a complex kind of guy.
I really like King. The other character, and I pronounce her name completely wrong, Luong.
Luong, yeah. She has
a nice zoning game as well.
She has a area 50/50. She can do a cross up with her twirl kicks. It's crazy.
And I'm not really sure about my third yet.
Yeah.
I still have been playing around. I kind of just pick up Terry just for the anchor when I don't feel like playing the teams.
True. I'm also considering Mary as well. Mary has amazing mix-ups potential. But yeah. Also, that might be a difficulty for this game. Finding your team. you gotta learn 3 characters.
Yeah, and not just that, because there's more characters coming with the DLC. So don't get set on certain characters. Then DLC comes out, and you go, "Oh wow, now I want to change my team up." There's a lot of characters. I think the roster is pretty solid. There's something in there for everybody.
Yeah, and because it's something there for everybody, I cannot help give this game a 5 for a fighting game, for new fighting games and old fighting game enthusiasts. How do you feel about that, Keith?
It kind of feels weird giving a fighting game a straight 5 across the board. It definitely deserves it. I think this is a solid game. I think, adding on to what you said, this is a great game for people who don't even play fighting games because the story mode is there. It's fun to just do dumb stuff. The interactions are there. And the training mode is there. And it's an in-depth training mode. It's really good. It will get you in fighting shape to jump online and play against other people.
Yeah.
The only thing that's weird coming from the Street Fighter background is that it's, unless you really put some effort into it, it's not super combo heavy. And people are used to seeing flashy combos and whatnot. We're spoiled by games like Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue that's like, oh look, watch me do this, and do this, or Street Fighter.
Well, King of Fighters is it's kind of very combo heavy if you know how to do all your max cancels correctly.
That's the thing. If you're put a lot of time and effort into it, you'll be doing great things. And that's what I was getting at. It's a great game for starters, but there's a lot in there to become a master in that game. Either way, even if you're not God tier, the game is still a lot of fun.
That's true. And I guess with that'll be the end of our King of Fighters 15 review. Our first review we gave 5 across the board. Please check it out when it's on its official release, or pre-order it, or I guess buy the deluxe edition when you can. And with that is myself, Getsilius, and Shadow has to sign out. We see you guys in the next one. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, hit the bell as well so you'll be notified next time we go live with new video content. And be sure to follow us on social media so next time we have any content coming up, you'll be first to be up there and enjoying it with the rest of them. So see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
See ya.